Hey, this is Trader Travis, and I welcome you all to another weekly recap. My co-trainer and friend Peter's on the line. We are Success Academy trainers. We're sharing our thoughts on the market this week. Every week we meet, and everything we share is for educational, informational purposes only. Please don't take this as investment advice. We're just sharing what we do. We're educators, and also we don't believe in teaching investment advice. We believe in empowering you so you can start thinking on your own, where you're not dependent on us. You don't have to be carbon copies of us. You take our mindsets, our models we have, or our blueprints, and then kind of tailor it to fit your particular needs. We don't need little drones that do exactly as we say. We want you to stand up for yourself and be empowered. Now, with that being said, Peter probably is going to start with some mindset stuff. You want to do the mindset stuff? Actually, you want to do the mindset stuff last, or you want to get them primed up? Okay. Yeah. All right. So what I will do is let me get rid of AT&T. We was rapping on about AT&T, and I'm going to pull up. Oops, I still have my screen small. Here's my Excel. While I'm up here, this model account, best case scenario is showing 71% growth. This is highly subject to change because this is zeroing out all of my open trades. So for example, I have, and I was getting so sidetracked here, but I just want to give everybody some, because people are like, oh, this is inauthentic, or you're not up 70%, whatever. So anyway, so I have about $7,000 out in trades. All right, that's realistic. So I could lose 100% on those. Possible, but not likely. The account will be only at 43%. But I zero it out because I don't trade that way anymore. It's the way I trade is, I won't say no way. There's very low likelihood I'd hit 100% loss on those. So I just leave them zeroed out here. Plus, some of them are super profitable. Like Starbucks, I think is up like $2,000. That's not reflected in this growth. If I close out Starbucks, this growth will go up, I don't know, whatever percentage points, whatever $2,000 is reflective of this balance. So that would go up. So this is subject to change, up or down. I'm always guarding against down versus up. And I'm not even impressed because I know it's early in the year, a lot can happen. But I just want to talk about that since it just popped up on my screen here. So I'm just getting
Can I ask you a real quick question about it? Can you go back to it real quick?
Nope, I can't.
Damn.
Here you go.
All right, so you have contribution return, investment return. Contribution return, is that the percent that you've contributed? Is that what that means?
Yeah, this year, I broke it out. I'm gonna give you a long answer. This year I broke it out because people had trouble last year. They would see last year I just had total growth. They would think Travis is up 71% trading profits, and they would be down on themselves like, I'm not doing as well as him. I'm like, no. You have to remember, I'm adding money to this account. That's part of building wealth. There's no wealth without savings. So I broke it out this year so you can see of the money I've added, this 71%, 22% of it is money I've added to the account. The other 49% is trading profits.
Pretty darn good. 49% return. Now I know it is early. Yeah. We're in April, so yeah, it is early. So
and it's best case scenario, right? Because I still have open trades out. I mean, they're all.
But you could almost stop right now if you wanted to,
but
and meet your goal because your goal was 60%, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could stop, let all my other trades play out, and then I'm done for the year. If I wasn't coaching, I probably would do that. We just take cruises the rest of the year and just be done with it. Because I don't see any need to push yourself. The market now I'll move to the market because sometimes you have to recognize when you've been blessed with luck, right? We've been blessed with luck. This is a 2-year chart of stock market. Let me drill down to a 9-month chart. The market has gone up 20% in 3 months, 22%, I think, in 3 months. That's luck. Right, the market averages 7-9% a year. I didn't predict this. No one that I know I followed online predicted this. No, this is a funny part. Like that's why you got to be careful about who you listen to. All these experts be like, "Oh, the market's going to crash." Did any expert 3 months ago say, "Hey, the market's going to go up 22% in 3 months"? If they do, start paying attention to them, right? But I remember watching the news and reading and getting a feel for what people are saying, and I didn't hear people say the market was going to do this. Everybody thought it would do something different. Me, I don't care. I was like, I might have a thought, but I was like, I don't care. Market doesn't care. I was telling Peter, the market doesn't even know who Trader Travis is. What does it matter what I think? I'm just going to trade what I see. And so I've benefited from this 22% rise. That's why my account is up so much because I traded what I saw. The market was going up. I got in alignment with that. So going back to what I was saying, this is luck. I didn't know the market would do this. I'm in a good position. So sometimes you just have to recognize, hey, it's just good luck. Let me not push it and think this is because I have great trading skill. I'm some trading god and things like that. No, I had a good run for 3 months. Now we're going to take the rest of the year off. And I promise you, if I was not coaching, we would do that. My kids would be like, Daddy, let's go on a cruise. Let's go somewhere. Let's come back next year. Because I don't think, again, going back to what I think, the market doesn't care what I think, but I do not think this will continue. I mean, think about it. If it continues, that means 3 months from now, and the market's going to be up another 20%. That's 40% in 1 year. That generally only happens after market crash, and that's rare. I'm not going to pull up Yahoo, but you can go to Yahoo Finance, quote SPY, and then look at historical. I may put a graphic so you can see it. If you click historical, it'll show you the historical averages of the SPI for every year for like the last 10, 20 years. You'll see that after market crash is the best. That's why I only buy stocks after market crashes. It's the best time to invest because the market usually rages higher 20, 30% after a crash. After a few years after the crash, it settles out and it doesn't rage higher as much. That's generally how the market performs. So anyway, that's my thoughts there. Market's gone up 20%. I don't think it will continue. If it continues, I'll still be in trades. I'm still trading. I sent out an email to Success Academy members with all caps, warning, the market will fall. Peter said, I probably scared people. I'm like, yeah, probably, but that's what I think. 20% in 3 months, I'm sorry. I think a correction is right around the corner. I think it may settle out or give us trouble for the rest of the year. And, we have to take this luck and be grateful for it because I think that the rest of the year is going to be tough for us. Now, with that being said, I think the market is going to fall. I think a correction is right around the corner. Am I fearful of not placing trades? No. I told Peter I'd be an idiot I'd be an idiot to sit on the sidelines and watch the market go up 20% and not get involved. Forget that. I'm in trades right now. Matter of fact, I'm about to place a trade on Facebook as soon as we start recording because I'm like, the market's giving us easy money. I'm going to take it. With that being said, I still think it's going to fall. So it's hypocritical. I think it's hypocritical. I think it's going to fall, but Travis is still placing trades. Yeah, because you don't have to act on what you think. You honor what the market is actually doing. You honor facts. And so what I'm going to do to resolve my fear is, this is what I said I would share with Success Academy members. If you're the public, I'm probably going to edit this out because, it's not fair to Success Academy members who've invested in themselves to learn this. So basically, for Success Academy members, what I'm going to do is place bullish trades, and that's it. I think Peter's going to take about. But
I want to ask you a question though.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think most people would like this better than listening to me. So you talk about, one of your famous sayings, and anyone that. We were just talking about this. If you're a Success Academy member and you see an email where Travis says, I think the market's going to go down, or you hear him on this video saying, I think the market's going to go down, and you take pause by that. If you're a Success Academy member, go back to the basics, because there's a famous saying Travis has, and he says it on these videos all the time. The market doesn't care what he thinks. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious why, even though you trade based on what you see, why do you put out that saying, hey, I think the market's going to go down?
That's a good question. I could tell you my motivation yesterday. What do you think first?
Well, I took it. So here's how I take it, because I know the famous saying. Like, I read your email, and I guarantee, I shouldn't say it that way, there's probably a good chance some people don't read all the way to the bottom. So they take that out of context and they say, well, how can he sit here and place trades when he just said he thinks the market's going to crash? And it's, if you read the whole email for Success Academy members, at the bottom, it's important to read everything. And the bottom, it does state that, hey, even though that's what I think, this is what I'm going to do. I took it as more of, when you say those things, I just take it as a caution. So for what I do is, okay, I trade based on what I see the market doing, but based on your cautionary tale, I'm just not going to risk as much. I'm going to be very cautious about how much I risk, because the reality is I can't lose that way. Because if you're right and the market does go down, I didn't risk a lot. If you're wrong and the market goes up, I still capitalize.
Yep. Yep. You pretty much coined it. I'll say it in a different way. I sent it both for cautionary tales, and I know there's some people out there who are how I used to be. They're happy drunk off the profits they just made in the last 3 months. They've gotten lazy on risk. They probably are risking too much now, and they're going to get caught with their pants down and get screwed. Sorry for being so vulgar if you have your kids to watch these videos, but that's the truth. Like when the market does this, there's somebody out there who just made a crap ton of money and they've totally forgotten all about this can't last. This will end someday. So I put those out there to wake them up like, whoa, 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 why does Travis think this? It just causes them room to pause, right? That's one reason, cautionary tale. Second reason is I'm showing you that I'm human, right? Well, no, forget the human. I'll do that last. Second reason is it's my fiduciary responsibility to share what I think. So when the market was falling in October, November of 2018, right? You remember me putting out, I'm like, nah, it's not a bear market, right? I don't want to keep that to myself and then you all miss out on things because Travis didn't share this. I'm like, no, I want to share everything I see. I'm doing this 18 years. I got a feel for what the market's going to do. Now I'm always right, no, but generally I'm more right than I'm wrong. And so I want to put that out so people are like, okay, Travis thinks this, he's been fairly consistent with his predictions, even though the market doesn't care what I think, it's just based on experience. So, but again, my experience was I didn't expect this 20%. So again, it's like, well, take what I say with a grain of salt, but don't take it as the gospel. This is just what I feel. Third is I'm human. I have the same fears and stuff that you have, right? I have the same worries that other people have, but here's how I handle them as a professional investor. I try not to let my fear handicap me. Yeah, I have fear right now that the market may fall and all this nice 70% growth in my account is going to go bye-bye. It's like having $1 million. Sometimes it's more difficult than being broke because then you have more to lose. People don't realize that. They think, oh, being a millionaire is going to help me. No, you have so much flipping fear that comes in your life because you actually have something to lose now. When I was broke, who cares if I wrecked my car? I don't have anything to lose. They can't sue me, right? Like they have nothing to take, But I'm like, now if you got millions, you've got actually something to lose. And you know that I'm going to go from this cushy lifestyle back to struggling again. So you have more fear. So anyway, I don't know where that came from, but basically I have the same fears and concerns that other people have, but here's how I handle them. I think the market's going to fall, but I still don't want to be an idiot and then just miss out on trades because of my fear. So I feel the fear, do it anyway, but I still want to honor that fear because the market could fall. So here's how I do it. And that's why I shared those strategies. I'm placing bullish trades now because the market's going up. But if it falls like I think it will, right? I'm waiting for confirmation. I'm only waiting to see if the market will do what I think. Once it does that, then I place my bearish trades. So those are the three reasons why I sent it. Cautionary tale for those who are happy drunk off their profits. Two, to kind of just give you a feel for what I think of the market is going to do, and you can craft your trade plan around that. Three, to let you know I'm human. I have the same fears and worries as everybody else, but I try not to let them handicap me, and I try to devise a plan to honor that fear, but still put me in a position to win in life. That make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was way too much talking. But
that's good though. I think that's what will add more. I need to ask you more questions because I don't. I tend to just assume that everyone watching this understands it like I do. And sometimes I don't understand it and I'll ask them offline, which I'm like, why did I wait till offline? But no, I think that adds a lot of value to what you're saying. And then people can understand it from your mindset. And just to kind of, so I always wondered how, because because I've been following you for so long, and here's one of the things that can tend to hurt me is when you do say something, I'm like, I've heard this so many times and he seems to be right. So I'm just going to listen, but I don't just instinctively, I don't just act off of what you say. I still do my due diligence and I take responsibility for whatever actions I take. So if you guys are watching this and you're going to trade bearishly because of what Travis said and you lose a lot of money, well, take responsibility for that dumb action, because that's a dumb action. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so rude, but it is. And take responsibility for all your actions. Even watching these videos, even if you're a Success Academy member, there's no one holding a gun to your head saying you have to do all this stuff. If something's not working for you, then take responsibility for your actions. That's the biggest thing, which kind of, I was going to say, I didn't know if you were done, so my bad.
No, I'm done. Yeah, that was good. Listen to what I say, but also watch what I do. Yeah, Travis thinks the market's going to fall, but am I loading up on puts and think? No, I said I'm waiting for confirmation. So yeah, you're right. Don't take what I say and then trade bearishly. That would be dumb. Like, I scold you for that. I'm like, seriously, you should know better. You're a Success Academy member, right? So, and if you're unclear, ask before you take action, right? Just don't take what we say as gospel. If you just want to make sure, just ask us, and I will clarify my thinking. Like my famous troll or my favorite troll had made a good point. He actually made a good point. I just didn't like the way he made it. And it was like, well, yeah, I'm trading in a paper trading account this year. Peter knows that, okay, what I'm doing is the same thing I'm doing in my real money account. I'm just not showing you my real money account. So it doesn't matter. He doesn't know that. But he made a good point. So it's like, no, I wish he had asked. The intelligent thing is, hey, are you actually placing real trades or you only place paper trades? Then I can clarify my thinking or the things I say. That's the more intelligent approach. Just ask. If you're unsure, just ask. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. We'll move on.
No, that's good.
Okay. How are we going to move on if I didn't give you control of the screens? I think you might can take over controls too. I
could if I wanted to, but I usually wait until you give it to me.
Oh, and while Peter starts, we're going to do, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to publicly announce this now, so I'll hold myself accountable to following through. I don't know how it's going to be format and all that, but I'm just making the attention. We're already meeting Tuesdays, so I'm going to use some of what Peter talks about before we hit record is podcast material, and that will give people a different learning avenue for people who like to listen while driving to work, or like today I was jogging, I listened to podcasts and things like that. So of course we can't show you charts and stuff, but we can touch like the mindset stuff. Like Peter said something golden. Sorry, I'm totally taking over the show today,
no,
Peter.
Okay.
Peter talked about if people want this return on investment, like, all right, I'm up 70%. You can't ever hope to get my return on investment if you hire me to manage your money, right? The only way you're going to get that is if you do it yourself. And Peter made a good point. The reason why is if you hire me, I'm going to charge you a fee. So you might get close to my same returns, but you won't get as equal because I'm going to charge you a fee. So he said return on investment is either you're getting it yourself or you're paying somebody for that. He said, when you pay somebody, you always have a lower return on investment. And that's what I was teaching my sons. So I'll shut up now because somebody's vacuuming outside my door and you can take it over from here.
No, those are good points because they segue kind of into what I was going to talk about it comes from a comment that was made on the YouTube channel. It's the same guy over and over again, but usually I don't lend any credence to that because after a while it just becomes noise. There's nothing positive. There's not a question there. It's just, hey, I'm going to watch this YouTube channel and just pick on it. I used to be, here's the thing. I used to be the same person. I used to be just like that. I used to criticize everything everyone else did. I wasn't a game player. I used to sit out in the stands like most people do and Monday morning quarterback. And now I don't do that with a lot of things. Sometimes I fall into my old ways, but it kind of segues into what I was going to discuss. And I did a kind of a quick PowerPoint here. Really, attitude is everything, right? So we talk about this all the time, and there's a lot of people that talk about this. If you listen to Tony Robbins and very successful and very high energy type people, they'll talk about your attitude is everything. But understand my attitude for success isn't necessarily your attitude for success. Just like the pictures I put up here, some people might look at the pictures and be like, what? Well, some people look at that car and maybe they have the same feeling as me, as that would be a really cool car to own. And others might look at it and say, no way, that thing would get dinged up and then I wouldn't want to drive it anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And the picture on the right is just basically a stock chart is what it's kind of showing there. And for some people that they don't want to be involved in the stock market and they don't want to use that as their tool to increase their financial well-being. That's fine. This is what excites me. Doesn't mean it's going to excite you, but your attitude has to be, you dictate what excites you. So you can't just cookie cutter anyone else's approach, whether it's Travis's or mine. The other thing that I like to talk about is there's thousands of possibilities. There is no one way to make money. If you're a person that invests in the stock market like we do, or does options trading, whatever, and you think that is the only way to make money, well, you're fooling yourself. It's not. The other thing that's very important is not all, and I capitalize successful because there's a lot of systems out there that are very successful. And I've taken part in some of those systems, but I couldn't make them successful. Does that mean the system is not successful? No, because there's people that are succeeding with it. It just meant that it wasn't a system for me. So not all successful systems will work for you. But the only way to figure that out is to take action and take part in those systems and then figure out why it didn't work for you. 9 times out of 10, in my experience, when a successful system didn't work for me, it was me. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, it was me. Or I didn't resonate with the person that was teaching it. It didn't mean it was a bad system. So it's something to look at. If you watch our videos and we don't resonate with you, stop watching our videos. We don't resonate with you. We're not going to help you. So that's with anything. And it kind of leads into that next point. Our system may not be a good fit for you. Like I said, if you watch us and my voice annoys you, stop watching. Move on to someone where their voice doesn't annoy you. The other thing is you need more than one system. I don't believe, we have, my buddy and I, James, have a website called jpcashflow.com. And we talk about multiple streams of income, and that's what we're really working on. This is one of my streams of income. It's not the only one, because there's going to be weeks or months that I don't make money trading options, and I need something to back that up. There's going to be sometimes weeks or months that I don't make money doing my other systems, and I need something to back that up. And if you look at any successful, wealthy person, they always have multiple streams of income, and they have more than one system. And then my last point was Warren Buffett makes money far differently than Ray Dalio and Jeff Bezos, but they're all very wealthy and they're all very successful. Just kind of points to there's thousands of possibilities. You just need to find the ones that work for you. But what you cannot get away from is risk management. It's the number one thing. Reading that book, what I learned losing $1 million in the stock market, the most important chapter, I think is chapter 7, was where he talks about, he was trying to figure out how do all these very wealthy guys do it. They all make money, but they all use a totally different approach to do it. And what he found was it's not how much they made, it's how little they lost. And when you can have, if you have a fund, let's say you're investing in a fund that gives you a 12% return every year. And for 10 years, it gives you an average return of 12%. You'll be flying high. You'll be like, this is awesome. But then the 13th year, it does a 54% loss. Well, you're still not at break even, because 12 times 7, what did I say? Did I say 10 years, 12 years? Whatever I said. But bottom line is a 50% loss requires a 100% return to get back to break even. So if you do the math over that, it's critical to know what your losses are. So risk is the number one thing. It doesn't matter which system you implement. If you don't figure out your risk first and whether you can handle it, it won't matter. If you don't master it, it's not going to matter how much you make. And everything we teach focuses on risk first, profit second. The last thing, well, this isn't the last slide, but the one thing I definitely wanted to cover, because people that watch this, sometimes you don't get the benefit of what the Option Profit Success Academies, well, a lot of times you don't get that benefit. And there's a reason for it. It's because the Success Academy members, they invested in getting the benefit of all the things we teach. And you're just watching a free YouTube video. The point of these videos were just to get you excited about trading and keep you energized. It wasn't to teach you how to trade. That's what the Success Academy does. But the difference that I've learned, because I've taken other courses, is, well, number one, Travis's system was built on years of experience, trial and error. He never turns out anything. When he turns out a new product, it's already gone through a year's worth of trial and error. So you get to benefit from all that trial and error, all that experience. It's proven. We have hundreds of successful stories. So And I'm one of them. It works. So no one could ever tell me, oh, I don't think that system will work. Can't tell me that because I know it does. So, and it's built to last. No matter what the market throws at it, we don't lose money. That's the key. And when we have losses, because of the way we teach it, it doesn't affect us. It's not a 54% loss. And then the last thing I think is one of the probably the pinnacle of this program over most programs is it's always evolving. He's always giving us new strategies, especially with risk management. And unlike other programs, we don't typically have to pay for those advanced strategies. They just come out. They're just part of it. It's kind of what I was talking to you about, Travis, with Apple and other computers, why I like Apple so much. When they come out with a new operating system, you don't have to pay for the benefit of a new operating system.
That's true.
Your academy is the exact same way. So moving on to my last slide here. So what path will you take? It's really going to be determined on what fits for you. My path may not be your path. Travis and I were talking about this in the beginning. I follow his system of trading, but there's certain things Travis does that I don't do. And I just don't, it doesn't fit me. Like Travis can drive around a Honda Accord for 20 years. He stated that on our last live call. I've had my Honda Accord for a long time, but I don't see me driving it for 20 years, and I want to own a BMW. So and I don't, and Travis doesn't. What Travis doesn't tell you is he used to own a BMW a long time ago, so he knows what it's like to own a BMW.
Oh, yes.
But the point is, not everyone's path is going to be exactly the same. That's the beauty of these systems is you can, I used to tweak Travis's systems and then I learned not to, but there's certain things Travis does I don't do. And there's certain things I do that Travis doesn't do. But ultimately we're kind of going, we're going to the same place. We're just taking a little bit different path to get there. And that was it. I think that was my last slide. That was my last slide. So the whole point behind what I wanted to say there is, and especially if you guys watch our YouTube videos and you read the comments below, I used to do this on Facebook and I get away from it now, is I just don't focus on the negative comments anymore. If you're a person that wants to constantly post negative stuff, I highly encourage you start reading some books on positive motivation and realize that your negativity is not holding us back. Even if we answer you or we get into a conversation with you, it doesn't affect us in a negative way. It affects you because you're holding yourself back by having those negative beliefs. And that's what they are. You're trying to tell us that what we do doesn't work or that we're not teaching what we do correctly. And I'm here to tell you that I was a student before I started co-training, and I'm a co-trainer because I was a successful student. I was a successful student because the system works, because Travis has taught me every single thing he does. So, and the only reason I wouldn't be successful is because I chose not to implement it. So the bottom line is, you know, I used to be the same way. I used to criticize all the time, and I hate to say it, but you're just going to wake up 5 years from now and you're one day going to realize, hey, they don't put out those free videos anymore because we have such a much larger tribe that we don't have the opportunity to do it anymore because we've moved on. We've gotten even farther than we already are, and you're going to be sitting in the same place. So don't do that to yourself. Get rid of the negative trash in your head and try and look at, it doesn't mean Travis and I are always right or we don't make mistakes. We're human. Don't focus on our mistakes. I don't focus on, it's kind of like Grant Cardone put out a great thing when his buddy, he has several books that are New York Times bestsellers, but when his first one hit the New York Times bestseller, his buddy is like, geez, Grant, you got a ton of grammar and spelling errors. And he's like, and Grant put it so well. He's like, dude, it's a New York Times bestseller, not a New York Times best written.
Oh, I know. It drives people crazy. He's like, what's your point, man? He's like, it's a bestseller.
Right. And that's I think people miss that point. that, it doesn't mean that we just try to put spelling errors or grammar errors in what we write. It just means that we're so motivated on teaching you something that we know we've gotten the point across. And if you've gotten the point, even with a spelling error, move on.
Yeah.
People are so focused on dotting the I's and crossing the T's. 9 times out of 10, those people don't have very good grammar and can't get their point across or can't teach. So focus on the positives.
I think that's a good point. I'll end with one admin note here. Peter, I didn't let you know this, but I had opened Success Academy. I was getting so many emails behind the scenes. People were like, is there another opening? So I opened it. It wasn't even scheduled to be open, but I opened it this week only. I was actually going to close registration to April 3rd. But just to give everybody an adequate time, I'm going to close it April 8th. And as Peter and I talked about, I don't know, soon it will be indefinitely closed to the public. We're going to restructure things and make sure people are indoctrinated with our philosophy, how we think first before we allow them in the Success Academy. So we're soon going to make it more exclusive, not meaning that people from off the street, just random people, can't get in. It has to be people who are already within our little options family some way, somehow, whether they're already Market Club option members or some other program I have. So we're going to make it more exclusive. That is a definite. I just don't know when. So anyway, if you're thinking about joining, decide soon, because it will be closing soon, April 8th, 2019, and I'm not opening it anytime soon. So with that, I think I don't have anything else to say, Peter. Do you have anything else?
The only point I wanted to make about what you're saying with the Success Academy, because some people will look at it, oh, it's just a marketing ploy. Whatever. The point is this, that it's what we found was it doesn't just waste our time, it wastes your time too. It wastes your time. You have one of the best refund policies, but it's just such a waste for a person to spend 30 days only to find out that they don't resonate with us in some way, shape, or form. And so I think the way we talked about restructuring, and you want to restructure it, I think that's what people need to understand. You'll still have the opportunities, but from a much better standpoint, because you won't have to commit so much in the beginning to realize whether we resonate with you or if this is the right path for you. So that's how I got into it. I mean, the Success Academy used to be, because you had that 50K membership. It's a very exclusive club, which for me was like, okay, I was doing the free stuff. And oh, by the way, learnstockoptionstrading.com is a free website that you can learn the basics of options trading. Yeah. So that's how I learned. And I paper traded calls using that system and that system alone. The reason I joined, it was your Udemy or Udemy site. And the reason I joined that was because I'm like, good Lord, if a free program, I'm making money, what is I think it was $500 back then. And that was just a basics, almost like an options basics. And then from there, I jumped into the Success Academy, because after I took the $500 program, I was like, oh, good Lord, I got to get into the Success Academy. It was so difficult to get into. And I chomped at the bit for over a year before I could get into that. So I think going back to that is better, because it really does benefit both sides, not just us. It benefits the people too, because by the time you get to the Success Academy, you've already known that it's a fit for you.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for saying that. That goes to how I said an intelligent person would ask for clarification, because they could take what I said out of context. I'm not the best business person. Marketing employees are stupid, in my opinion. Like, they're just dumb. I take a piece from Amazon. Amazon talks about being obsessed with the customer. That's why we're trying to make it more exclusive, because when I look at the most engaged members, the most successful members, it took me many years to figure this out. But Peter is one of them. Peter's a model person. There's several other, which I won't name because I didn't ask for their permissions. I noticed that they had all started with the free course. Then they started with the smaller basic course. Then they eventually went to the Success Academy. So they took the training in bite-sized chunks versus someone coming off the street, and they're literally getting overwhelmed with a PhD program, and it's overwhelming. They don't know where to start. It feels like it's too much. So I was like, oh, duh. I'm all about making sure people are more successful. And if I notice my most successful students came through this path, I'm going to entirely restructure my business to make this path the only path that they can go through. And that is the path of, it's like karate. You don't start with black belt, you start with white belt, and then they work your way up. I was like, duh, like that's how life is. So I was like, I need to structure my training that way too. That's why we're doing it. Not because we don't care about you. We want to keep you out in the dark. No, I just realized that if I really want you to succeed, I really want you engaged, then I need to restructure things. And so, yeah, I even actually lose money doing that. So that shows you it's not a marketing ploy. What marketing ploy would you do to make you lose more money? Like, no. But I'm like, forget that. This is all about people's success. I get more joy out of talking to Peter, seeing his success, than I do, the little bit of money Peter paid to join my program. No, hearing how Peter has changed his life, retired early, all that other stuff, taking care of his family, getting Mercedes when he go out and travel because, trading profits pays for it. I get more joy out of those stories. Yeah, seeing a little email like, oh, you got a new sale. So that's where my heart is. So have the heart. I was joking to Peter. My wife told me she didn't say it in these words, but pretty much I have the heart of Tony Robbins, meaning I really want you to maximize your life to become the best person that you could be. But I have the mouth of Dave Ramsey and Joyce Myers, which means I'm blunt, matter of fact. I'm going to say something to probably offend you somewhere along the way, but my heart is always for you to have a better life. So let me stop talking. I've talked enough.
So bye. So with that.
Peace out. See ya in the next recap. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Let me pause. Man.